Hello yogis, and welcome to today's class of Okaiyoga. Please find a block or blanket to sit on. Get comfortable. Welcome you to your practice today. Today's practice, we'll be working on connecting breath to simple movements. See if we can create a meditation in motion through focusing on our breath. Maybe today we'll practice a little bit of patience. We're practicing outside today. There definitely will be distractions. Can we remain calm in these distractions from the airplane, the dogs going nuts, squirrel? But there's beautiful distractions like birds and water flowing. Can we learn to appreciate these distractions and practice patience? Welcome. Let's all take a deep inhale in through the nose. Open our mouth and sigh it out. Let's do that again. Deep, deep inhale in through the nose. Release our glutes. Open our mouth and sigh it out. This time, deep inhale in through the nose. Softly close our lips and exhale out the nose. Softly closing our eyes, looking within. Thinking about patience and what it means to you in your life today. Maybe the patience will be a pose suggested in the class. Can we learn to be comfortable not being able to access a pose today, knowing that it may be in our future? Next inhale, feel the crown of the head rise up towards the sky. Release the glutes, and on the exhale, lower our chin towards or to the chest. Inhale, right ear towards the right shoulder, and exhale, chin back down towards or to our chest. Inhale, left ear towards the left shoulder. Exhale, chin to the chest. A couple more rounds each side, slowly awakening, connecting breath to movement. Beautiful, finding stillness. Take a deep inhale here. And on the exhale, take our right hand towards the left thigh, left hand up on fingertips behind us like a kickstand. Pushing into those fingertips, feel the spaciousness you're creating between each vertebrae. Draw a right sits bone deeper into the block or the blanket or the mat. 2 more deep breaths here. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, imagine the left shoulders opening ever so slightly. Next inhale, get very tall and spacious. Exhale, unwind, taking the left hand across the right thigh. Right hand up on fingertips behind us. Draw the left sits bone deeper into the block below us. Inhale, creating that space between each vertebrae. And on the exhale, the right shoulder opens up behind us. 2 more deep breaths here. Unwinding through center. Let's all roll our shoulders up and back. It's a warm day today outside. I like to practice in the shade, facing east if I can for the sunrise. Our pranayama practice today will be anulom vilom, or alternate nostril breathing, a cooling breath, lowering our heart rate, grounding ourselves. Let's make a peace sign with our right hand. Draw the peace fingers down. The right thumb comes up. The right ring finger comes up. Take a deep inhale through both nostrils. Put the right thumb on the right nostril and exhale out the left. Deep, deep inhale, left side. Close the left nostril with the right ring finger and hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open the thumb and exhale. Deep inhale, filling the lungs completely, right nostril. Close the thumb and hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open the ring finger, exhale. Deep inhale, left side. Close the nostril, hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open the thumb and exhale. Inhale completely, right side. Hold for 8. Open the ring finger, exhale. Around, deep inhale. Hold. Open the thumb and exhale. Release the hand, roll the shoulders up and back. Softly close our eyes and sit still for 15 seconds. Beautiful job, yogis. Blink our eyes open. Let's make our way into tabletop. In tabletop, our hands will be directly beneath our wrist crease, directly beneath our shoulders. We'll take 4 rounds of cat-cow, initiating the movement from our sits bones. So to take cow, we'll inhale, the tailbone rises, belly drops, gaze looks down at our thumbs, then forward, raising our chest. On the exhale, start to curl the sits bones in, the navel towards the spine, the chest starts to curl back towards our knees. We're looking down at our thumbs, below our navel, really puffing up our back. Inhale, sits bones rise, belly drops, heart waves forward, gaze moves forward, pushing the ground down. Exhale, sits bones curl under, navel towards the spine, back puffs up, gaze towards our knees. 2 more rounds. Slow and measured, connecting breath to movement. Final cow. Heart lifts. Cat pose. Navel towards the spine, gaze towards the knees. Let's find a neutral tabletop. Rock gently side to side. Push the ground down, neutral spine. Take a deep inhale, and on the exhale, move our right shoulder towards our right hip, attempting to look over that right shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale, left side, curl the right shoulder towards, or left shoulder towards the left hip. Inhale back to center. Right shoulder towards the right hip. Inhale, center, and the left side. Moving our spine sideways, something we don't do often in our daily practice, our daily movement. Take a couple breaths here. Reach forward to the blocks if you have them, or to the ground in front of you. Bring the right heel forward into a half split. The blocks can be on the low level, we can be on fingertips, the blocks can be higher. The left hip is above the left knee. We push into the hands gently, lift our chest up, and on the exhale, attempt to fold forward. Draw the right hip back ever so slightly. Breathing in through the nose, out of the nose. Draw the left hip back so it's over the knee. Inhale the chest up, exhale down, however far we can go. Right now, it's early in our practice, is fine. It's a deep stretch on the hamstring. The quads are starting to kick in. The hands securely on the blocks or the ground. Bring the right knee back to meet the left. Then let's bring the left foot forward for half splits on the opposite side. The right hip above the right knee. Fingers pushing down into the ground, the chest lifts. The shoulders are moving away from our hips, and the chest starts to bend or starts to lower down as the elbows bend. 2 more deep breaths here. Bringing the left knee back to meet the right. Let's make our way into our first downward facing dog of the class. Fingers spread wide like starfish, push into the palms, the hips float up. With a bend in the knees, you can curl your sits bones towards the sky, then push down into the hands. Start to straighten the legs, move the hamstrings towards the back of your mat. Inner rotate the thighs so the inner line of the thighs is moving behind us. Push down, get even taller. Sits bones up towards the sky, the head's relaxed. If you like to walk your dog here, you can bend and straighten opposite legs. The arms tend to bend a little bit when we do that here. So now push the arms back straight. Curl the sits bones up towards the sky. Let the heels move towards the ground. The hamstrings move behind us. We're breathing in through the nose, out of the nose. Let's float the right heel up towards the sky. Bring the right knee towards the nose. Then cross the right ankle over the left thigh as if we're taking a figure 4 position in downward facing dog. We're going to lower down so the right ball of the right foot finds the mat. Then the right knee comes down gently to the mat. The back toes on the left foot are curled. We walk our hands up our thighs. Reach behind us as if we're putting our hands in our back pockets. Draw the navel towards the spine, elbows towards each other, and lift our sternum, lift our heart up towards the sky. Bring our hands to the front of our thighs, slowly sliding down, carefully, slowly, finding the mat, sinking the right hip back in space, just a little bit. It's the direction, not the distance. Maybe we come down to our forearms, melting our forehead to our hands or to the mat. Nice stretch on the outer right side of our hip. Placing our palms flat on the ground, finding 3-legged dog. The right leg comes up, the heels reaching up and away from us. Lowering the ball of the right foot down, float the left heel up in space. Bring the left knee towards or to the nose. Then cross the left ankle across the right thigh, pushing back into a figure 4 downward facing dog. Slowly lower the ball of the left foot to the mat. The right knee follows, the left knee follows, walking our hands up our front thighs. Hands on our hips, square the hips towards the front of the mat. Slide our hands into the pockets, the back of our pants. Draw the elbows towards each other. Lift the heart up. Gently push our pelvis forward. Our heart rises. Bringing the hands across the front of our thighs, down slowly, carefully to the mat. Then drawing the left hip back in space. Coming down to our forearms, melting down, sinking our hips back, providing the stretch on the outer left hip. Placing our hands down, pushing up and back into a 3-legged dog with the left leg high. Point the left toes towards the ground, push into the palms equally, and lower the left foot down. Coming down to child's pose, knees are separated, big toes touch, and our heart melts down to the mat. 2 deep breaths here. Our hips are moving towards our heels. They may not touch. Wherever we are today is perfect. Coming up through tabletop. I'll turn towards you for this component. Push up and back, downward facing dog. We'll float our right heel up towards the sky. Let's bring the right foot forward. The left knee is down. We'll slowly rise until low lunge. The right knee is forward, the right hand comes across our lumbar spine. We're gonna inhale deeply, the left hand reaches out. And on the exhale, we'll twist. Inhale, reach the crown of the head towards the sky, and exhale, the right shoulder opens up. 2 more deep breaths here. Effort and ease in Hatha yoga. The inhale will unwind, cactusing the arms, raising the heart towards the sky. And on the exhale, we're going to place our hands down, stepping back into push-up, top of the plank. We're going to inhale on the first round, the right knee towards the right elbow, and exhale the right foot back. We'll take 1 push-up here. The knees can be down, the knees can be up. Inhale, push the ground away. Exhale, lower down, pushing back up. Downward dog, float the left heel up towards the sky. The left foot comes forward, the right knee comes down. Left knee forward, left hand across our lumbar spine. Inhale, the right hand reaches wide. Exhale, twist. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, open towards the back of your mat. Backside, I guess. Crossways. 2 more deep breaths here. Inhale, cactus the arms. Exhale, float the hands down, stepping back to plank, top of a push-up. Left knee towards or to the left elbow. 1 push-up here on the first round. Up and back, downward facing dog. We'll take round 2. The right foot rises, right foot forward, left knee down. Right hand across the lumbar spine, open. Our right hand across the lumbar spine, open up the left. Exhale, twist. 2 more deep breaths here. Inhale, cactus the arms. Exhale, reaching down. Round 2, we'll take our knee twice to the right elbow. We have the option for 2 push-ups here. Downward facing dog, left foot comes up, left foot forward, right knee down. Left hand across the lumbar spine. Right hand opens on the inhale, and the exhale, we twist towards the left. Inhale, the crown of the head is light and floats up. Exhale, the left shoulder opens. 2 deep breaths here. Inhale, cactus the arms. Exhale, reaching down. 2 knee taps, left side. 2 push-ups. Downward facing dog. Right heel floats up, right foot forward, left knee down, right hand across our back. Inhale, open, exhale, twist. 2 deep breaths here. The next inhale, we'll cactus the arms. Finding push-up. 3 push-ups. You know what we skipped? Right knee towards the right elbow 3 times. Downward facing dog. Left heel rises, left foot forward, right knee down, left arm across our lumbar spine. Inhale, open, exhale, twist. 2 deep breaths here. Inhale, cactus the arms. Exhale, float down, plank, top of a push-up. 3 times we'll move our left knee towards our 2. Left elbow, left tricep. Knees can be up or down. We have the option, just a suggestion, for 3 push-ups here. Up and back, downward facing dog. Let's lower our knees down to the mat, finding child's pose, Konasana. Child's pose, the knees are separated, big toes touch, our heart melts down. You feel the heat that you've created through these simple connections of half a breath to specific movements. And we focus on these breaths, on these movements. Great job, yogis. Let's come up through tabletop, up and back, downward facing dog to standing forward fold. Standing forward fold, the head will hang heavy. With our hands on the ground, can we come up onto the balls of our feet, lowering our hips towards or to our ankles? Maybe we lift our hands up. We want to play with our balance early in our practice, giving our thighs, giving our knees a little bit of a squeeze. Relax the back of the neck so the nose tips down. Placing the hands on the ground, lowering the heels down, standing forward fold. Nod our head, yes. Gently move our ears side to side, no. Great job, yogis. If you want to do that again, since we're here, the hands come flat by bending the knees. We lift our heels up, the knees move forward. The glutes move towards or to our heels. Maybe we reach up one hand, maybe the other hand, playing with our balance, continuing to breathe, even in a precarious balancing position. If we fall here, can we learn to fall? Can we learn to wobble with a smile on our face, with patience, that someday every pose might become easier. Releasing the hands, finding standing forward fold one more time. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, lower down slow. And inhale, let's circle our hands up towards the sky. Exhale our hands to our heart center. And release. With our feet about hip distance apart, our right hand along our right thigh. Lift the left hand up towards the sky, then reach it higher. Now the right hip may want to jut out, so we're going to push into the ball of the right foot to get tall. Reach the left hand up. And on the exhale, the left hand's going to move across the top of our head towards the bottom side of our mat. Can we keep our hips above our ankles? Don't let the left hip jut out. By pushing firmly into each foot, the right fingertips are going down, the left fingertips went up and then over. Nice side stretch on the left side of the body. Take a deep inhale here, and on the exhale, the left hand will come down along the left thigh. The right fingertips reach up, then reach even higher. Then the right fingertips move towards the top of the mat. We're pushing down into the right foot a lot so the right hip does not jut out. The movement, the openness is from the hip through the rib cage on the right side. Reach up and over, the left fingertips reaching down, right fingertips reaching towards the top of the mat. Breathing into that spaciousness you're creating now between each rib cage each rib on the right side of our body. Take a deep inhale, and on the exhale, bring both hands down, roll our shoulders up and back. We'll take 3 Sun Salutation A, Surya Namaskar A. If you have blocks, I suggest we use them for our hands. If you'd like to use the mat, that's an option as well. Inhale, circling the hands up towards the sky. On the exhale, the thumbs are touching the palms open. Inhale, reach higher, hips come forward. Exhale here. Inhale, even higher. Exhale, bend at the knees, pivot at the hips, standing forward fold. Inhale, wave our heart forward. And exhale, reach down to the mat or to the block, stepping or hopping back gently to plank Bakasana, top of a push-up. Inhale, push the ground away. Exhale, lower down slow. The elbows are drawing in towards our rib cage. Point the right toes towards the back of the mat. Draw the right toes away, then place the top of the right foot down. Point the left toes towards the back of the mat. Draw the left toes away, then place the top of the left foot down. Pushing into the top of each foot a lot so the knees float up. Draw our pubic bone into the mat. Imagine we're drawing the base of our palms behind us, and notice how that lifts our chest into a baby cobra. Great job, yogis. Tucking our toes, pushing into our hands, floating up and back, downward facing dog. The bend in the knees, sits bones curl up even higher, pushing into our palms, drawing the back of the thighs towards the back of the mat. The heels move down. Heads relax. Start to move our shoulders above our wrist crease, bend the knees a lot. Without locking the elbows, but with firm arms, pushing into each hand, the balls of the foot equally. Float, step, hop, walk forward. Relax the head, halfway rise. Lower down slow, circling the hands up towards the sky. Exhale our hands to our heart center. Release. We'll build a little bit of heat by moving through the Sun Salutations just a little bit quicker. Circling the hands up towards the sky, open the palms forward, inhale, reach higher. Exhale, standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, step back to plank, top of a push-up. Inhale, push the ground away. Lowering down, drawing the base of the palms away from us. Finding a little bit deeper cobra. Pelvis is pushing into the mat. Heels move towards our glutes. Tuck the toes up and back, downward facing dog. Pausing for 2 deep breaths here. Inhale, shoulders forward, bending the knees. Float, hop, step forward. Halfway rise. Standing forward fold, circling the hands up towards the sky. Exhale our hands to our heart, releasing the hands down. Third time, circling the hands up. Open the palms, reach higher. Standing forward fold, halfway rise. Find your plank. Lowering down. Cobra. Heels towards the glute. Up and back, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, draw the shoulders forward. See how light you can get as our feet move forward to our hands. Halfway rise, standing forward fold, pausing here for 2 deep breaths and standing forward fold. Halfway rise, standing fold, circling the hands up towards the sky. Exhale our hands to our heart. Release. Inhale, reach the hands up. Exhale, palms open, thumbs are touching. Inhale, get taller. Standing forward fold. Halfway rise. Lowering down to the mat. Up dog or cobra, yogi's choice. Up and back, downward facing dog. We'll float the right heel up towards the sky. The right foot comes forward. We'll rise into a high lunge. Reaching the hands up. Floating the hands down, stepping back to downward facing dog. Floating the left heel up towards the sky. The left foot comes forward. We'll rise into a crescent lunge. Hips are squared towards the front of the mat. Lowering the hands down, stepping back, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, draw the shoulders forward, float the hips up, standing forward fold, halfway rise, lowering down. Let's make our way into chair pose. We're floating the hands directly out in front of us instead of up high. Fingers or palms are facing towards the ground. Draw the shoulders into our back. Sinking down, can we see all 10 toes? Your quad shaking, your hamstring shaking. Navel's moving towards the spine, sits bones curling down. Take another inhale. Exhale, standing forward fold. Halfway rise, standing fold. With our hands on the ground, can we come up onto the balls of our feet? Lowering the heels down. Circling the hands up towards the sky and bringing our hands to our heart. Can we come up onto the balls of our feet, playing with our balance? Point the fingertips away from us, draw the shoulders onto our back, palms are open, fingers spread wide. Can we lower down into a wobbly chair? If we draw our shoulders back over our hips, it's a little bit easier for the balance. And slowly rise, bringing the hands to our heart. And release. Bringing the knees to touch. An awkward chair. Hands reach out in front of us. Start to lower our hips down, the knees move forward. High back chair. Squeezing the thighs towards each other. Slowly push into each foot equally. Raising the hands up. Hands come to our heart. And relax. Roll our shoulders up and back, circling the hands up towards the sky. Thumbs are touching, palms open forward. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, pivot at the hips, standing forward fold. Halfway rise. Reaching down, we can use the mat now. We don't need to use the blocks for that extra lift. Pausing in downward facing dog. Floating the right heel up. The right foot comes forward. The left foot spins out 45 degrees. Feel the full effort of the back foot, the knife edge, the pinky edge of the left foot is gripping the mat as we slowly rise into Warrior One. The hips can be open a little bit towards the left or towards square, towards the front of the mat. Hands reach up, bend and straighten that front knee. Let's be careful, be kind to our bodies. We don't want the knee moving forward to the front ankle. We'll step back into Warrior Two. I'm going to turn around so my back isn't towards you. So from Warrior One, we'll step the back foot back, feel the pinky toe edge of that left foot really gripping. The front foot is bent up to 90, or the front thigh up to 90 degrees. Right knee above the right ankle. Fingers are extended, reaching away from each other. Shoulders come up and down our back. Draw the back shoulder so that both of our shoulders are above our hips. Maybe the back tricep needs to lift. We turn our gaze towards that front hand. Warrior Two, flip the back palm up towards the sky. Then change the directions of the palms. The front palm comes up, back palm comes down. Inhale, reversing our warrior. Then we're going to exhale, cartwheel the hands to either side of the foot, stepping back plank, top of the push-up. Lowering down slow, finding cobra, drawing the base of the hands towards the back of the mat. See how that provides lift for our chest. Draw the heels towards our glutes, tuck our toes up and back, downward facing dog. 2 deep breaths here. We'll move on towards the other side. Left heel rises, left foot forward, back. Right foot spins around 45 degrees, rising into Warrior One. Hands can be on our hips or lifted towards the sky as we bend and straighten up front leg 3 times. Stepping our back foot, moving into Warrior Two, rolling the shoulders down, fingers reaching away from each other, front leg bent up to 90 degrees. Flip the front palm up. Inhale, reversing our warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down, stepping back, lowering down, cobra, heels to the glutes, bending the thighs, up and back, downward facing dog. We'll take that again a little bit quicker. Right heel comes up towards the sky. Right foot comes forward, rising into Warrior One. Opening up into Warrior Two. Inhale, reversing the warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down, finding plank. Lowering down, this time, yogi's choice, up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. 2 deep breaths here. Bend the knees, float the feet forward, halfway rise, lower down slow. Circling the hands up and release. Left side, circling the hands up towards the sky, palms open. Inhale, reach higher, pivot forward. Halfway rise, step down to plank. Lowering down, up dog or cobra, downward dog, left heel up, left foot forward. Rise into your expression of Warrior One today. Open up to Warrior Two. Inhale, reversing the warrior. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down. Plank, lowering all the way down. Up dog or cobra, heels towards our glutes. Downward facing dog. 2 deep breaths here to catch our breath. Lowering the knees down, sinking back into child's pose. The knees are separated, big toes touch, and our heart melts down. Inhale through tabletop, up and back, downward facing dog. Since we're here, let's come down to our forearms. Interlace all 10 fingers, bringing the bottom pinky finger safely within our palms, creating a more even, flat surface. With our palms connected, we'll push into the forearms a lot. Can you see the difference between my shoulders being not engaged and being engaged? Engaged is up, not engaged is down. With the shoulders engaged, we float the hips up towards the sky, the legs straighten, we walk our toes in towards the elbows. We let our head hang heavy. Activating the shoulders, pushing into the forearms a lot. We inhale the chin forward and exhale the ears back towards our biceps. Inhale, chin forward, exhale back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Dolphin pose, dolphin push-ups. You're welcome to do three-legged dolphin push-ups by lifting one leg towards the sky. Lift it forward, lower it back. Lift it forward, lower it back. A little bit goes a long way as we open and build strength in our shoulders and our deltoids. When you're ready, come back down to your knees. Finding child's pose. Notice the heat that you've created in your body through these simple movements today. Start to crawl up. Our shoulders are above our hips. Sitting on our heels, sitting on our shins. Roll the shoulders up and back. With our hands on the ground, maybe we lift one knee, maybe we lift the other knee. Walking our hands in front of us, what I like to do is take a block, place it right in front of my knees. Hands come in front of the block. Knees come up on the block. We bend the toes, so we're all on the ball of the foot again. A lot of feet stretching today in this practice. Now maybe this is where you stop today. Maybe this is where you get to practice patience. Maybe you walk your hands up so the shoulders eventually come in alignment with our hips. Make sure the pinky toe isn't pointed the wrong direction. All 10 toes are comfortable. Let's all flex the 5 right toes and release. Let's all flex the 5 left toes and release. Let's flex all 10 toes, gripping, 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 and release. Surging our 10 little toes with oxygen-rich blood. They deserve it too. If you want to play with your balance here, maybe you lift up one knee, maybe the other knee. Maybe both knees float up. If you do have 2 blocks, another thing you can play with, the blocks on their highest setting by your hips, float up and put a lot of weight in your hands or a little. Maybe over time you start playing with the idea of shifting weight from my right leg into the left. It's a little bit off center. And then maybe we can use the blocks, extend the right leg out like a pistol squat. Starting to create muscle memory for your body to effortlessly move into that pose someday in our future. Shifting weight into the right leg. Use our hands a little or a lot, extend the left leg out. Bringing the foot back. Playing with our balance. Maybe it's easier with the palms pushing into each other, thumbs pushing into the sternum. Can we smile and laugh as we wobble and tumble in this safe space where we're practicing together? No judgment. Lowering the knees down, kicking the feet out. Great job. Another way we can challenge our perspective, challenge our patience, is headstand. If you have a headstand pose, this is a great time in class to take headstand. We've done dolphin push-ups, we've opened up, strengthened our shoulders. Similar to the dolphin hand position, interlace all 10 fingers, tuck the bottom pinky finger in. Now everyone can't do a handstand today, but everyone is capable of the prep because you've done all the parts of handstand prep. We're interlacing our hands, we're creating this nice little V. We're gonna put the crown of our head in between this V, tuck our toes, float our hips up towards the sky. This may be where you stay today. Are you activating the shoulders, which all you have to do is push into the forearms? Feel the difference. There's more weight on our arms than there is on our head right now. The head can actually slightly lift up off the ground even. We walk the toes in a lot. This may be where you stop, or you add on. The toes are pointing towards the ground, the heels reaching away from us and up at the same time, meaning the legs are active. Floating one foot up and down, the other foot up and down. This is an inversion. Our head is lower than our heart. We get the same benefits as a full headstand practice through the prep. If you want to start playing with going up, maybe we bring one knee towards our chest, the other knee towards our chest. One foot up, keeping a small body. Small, compact body is easier. Then we start to float one foot up, the other up. We're pushing the forearms into the ground the whole time. The ankles come together, interrotate the thighs, so we're holding on to something up in the air. If this is in your practice, there are leg variations offered. You can walk the legs. Maybe you straddle the legs, pointing the toes away. The legs are still active. Bringing the bottoms of the feet to touch, creating this fancy diamond shape. Wherever you are in your practice today is just perfect. Lowering the feet to the ground if you're up, tapping the feet onto the mat, coming back into child's pose. Knees are separated, heart melts down. Let's bring our knees a little bit closer together. With our forehead towards or to the mat, we're going to reach back and grab each heel. We're going to keep the top of our forehead connected to the mat as we slowly lift our hips up to whatever extension is available in your body today. Hips come up, hips come down. We're using our hands on the heels as a brake so we don't go too far. Should be a nice release for the back of the neck, the cervical spine. Slowing down the heart rate. Finding stillness. Walk the hands out in front of us. Separate the knees a little bit farther. Inhale, reach the top of our back up. And on the exhale, separate the knees even a little bit wider. Our hips are pretty warmed up now. And the forehead melts back down to the down to the mat into a deeper expression of child's pose. Crawl forward to tabletop. Put our hands on our sides and let's make our way onto our back. We're going to set up for bridge pose. If you do have a block, we'll do a variation of bridge Setubandhasana with the block to give us something to hold on to. So with our back onto the mat, bend the knees so the feet are flat on the mat. We should be able to reach down with our fingers. Should be able to reach the back of our heel. We're going to take the block long way, squeezing it between our thighs. You may need to scoot your feet a little bit closer. We're going to hold on to that block, squeeze it so tight that the hips want to float up. We're going to interlace the hands below the glutes, walking the shoulder blades closer towards each other. Then we're going to push into our heels a lot. The bottoms of the feet are pushed down, the heels moving towards our knuckles, forearms pushing into the mat. Gently push the back of your head so that your chin floats away from your chest, releasing the neck. Don't look side to side in this pose. We're only looking straight up towards that beautiful blue sky or that beautiful ceiling, wherever you're practicing today. Now you have two options here as we come down. One is you can release the hands, walk the arms out towards the edges of the mat and slowly lower down vertebrae by vertebrae. Or you can draw your knuckles slightly closer towards your heels by walking your shoulders down. The forearms still pushing into the mat. We're going to lower down from the top of our back to the middle of the back, using our forearms as a bolster. If this is uncomfortable, just pull your hips back up and move your arms out of the way. This might be a really nice stretch. By squeezing into the block, it takes some of the pressure off your forearms, or you can release the block. Let the feet open out into Baddha Konasana. The bottoms of the feet touch. The pinky edge of the foot is on the mat. The knees are gently opening. Push into the back of the head so the chin floats up. Using our arms as a bolster. Let's draw the knees up closer towards each other. With both feet flat on the ground, push into each foot equally, the hips float up, and walk the arms out, then lower down from the top of the back, middle of the back, lower back. Move the block out of the way. Walk our feet towards the outer edges of the mat, let the knees knock in. Place our hands on our hip points, and imagine we're drawing those hip points up towards the sky, so subtle movement of drawing our tailbone down, or actually towards our chin, moving away from our hips. We're not lifting our glutes off the mat, we're just shifting our hips, creating mobility in our lower back. Finding stillness, just let the knees float back up towards the sky, feet are flat. You can take another round of bridge here by pushing into each foot equally, this time without the block, but imagine our thighs are just as active. The feet are pushing down, the heels drawing up towards our glutes. We interlace the hands below our back, walking the shoulders in. Chest floats up, back of the head pushes into the mat gently. Breathing deeply into the nose, out of the nose. If you'd like to play around in the pose, you're welcome to float the right foot up to the sky. If you want to make it easier, more comfortable, more of a resting pose, draw the left foot into the center line of the body, then push into the left foot a lot. The right foot floats up, inner rotate the right thigh, push the heel away, draw the knee towards our face, pushing down into the arms, pushing into the left foot, and then floating the right foot down. Now maybe the right foot comes into the center line of the body, push into the right foot a lot, the hips float up, the left foot floats up towards the sky, inner rotate the left thigh, pushing down with the right foot, pushing up with the left foot. Toes are moving towards the knee or towards your face, pushing down. Maybe the knee draws forward towards your head. And when you've had enough, float the left foot down. Separate the feet hip distance apart. Release the hands and slowly lower down one vertebrae at a time. If you have wheel in your practice, this is a good place to try wheel. We place our hands flat onto the mat near the top of our head, our fingers pointing towards our shoulders. We push into each foot equally so the hips float up. Then we push into each palm and we land on the top of our head. Adjust our hands accordingly. Maybe we turn our fingers out a little bit. We push into the heels a lot. Then we start to push into our palms. Some people's arms will go much straighter than others. This is a pose that hasn't been accessible to me for years, but I'm working on it. Pushing into the hands, drawing the elbows towards each other, pushing into the heels. Breathing. You don't want to hold our breath in any challenging pose. We're waiting for that day that this too becomes a resting pose, like it is for many. Now to come out of the pose, this is very important. We look up towards the sky, which means our chin is moving towards our chest. We don't land on our head, we land on our upper shoulder. Top of the back, then middle of the back, then lower back. Great job, yogis. Let our knees fall to one side, fall to the other side. Windshield wiper in the knees should be a great massage for our glutes. Finding stillness, bringing our knees to our chest, Apanasana. Gently start to rock and roll the full length of our spine from our hips towards our neck. And let's stop or crawl up into Navasana boat pose. In Navasana boat pose, we can start with our hands by our hips. Feet can be flat. Most important alignment here is to lift our chest up, shining up towards the sky. Maybe we bring one hand towards the back of one thigh, one hand towards the back of the other thigh. Floating the feet up, lifting the chest. It tends to sink here. There's a lot going on. You can flex your feet. Maybe point the toes, point the feet. See how it feels with the legs straight versus bent. Find the position, find the expression of the pose that creates access for you today. Can we be patient with where we are in the pose if we're wobbling? If there's something that I can't do in a class that someone else can. And I have sympathetic joy for them versus envy. Can I be happy for them knowing that if I practice, my practice will change over time? Maybe we release the hands from the legs, extending the legs are active, and rotate the thighs gives me something to hold on to. Making peace fingers, bending both knees. Maybe we take yogi toe lock and straighten and bend the legs to the extent that's possible today. Lifting our chest straight, extending the heels away. Holding onto the toes gives us something. Maybe you can lift that chest just slightly higher. And when you've had enough, let's bring both feet down to the ground. Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose, bound ankle pose. Bottoms of the feet are together. Find a comfortable spot. Maybe for you it's very close to the hips, maybe it's a little bit away. Gently float the hips up and down. Wrap your fingers around your toes, lift your chest high. Feel that nice massage of our hip joints, the largest joints in our body. Can you get even taller? Can you imagine that spaciousness we created between each vertebrae in our spine throughout our practice today? Stop fluttering the knees. Let the knees come to stillness. Push into the sits bones. Feel the crown of the head float up. Breathing in through the nose, out of the nose. This is still opening our hips, just the gentle weight of our knees. Carefully place our hands on the outside of our thighs. Let's point our feet 45 degrees, place our hands back by our hips, and slowly prop ourselves up into Malasana, Yogi Squat. If this is a new pose or a not very accessible pose for you, and you do have a block, you're welcome to sit on the block on the high, medium, or low setting. May allow you to get your feet flat. We bring our palms to touch in front of our heart. We push the palms into each other equally. We place our triceps on our inner thighs. We push our thighs into the triceps, triceps into the thighs, palms into each other. We lift our chest. And if you're on the block, maybe you just float your hips up, little pulses. If you're not on the block, we tend to sink and find the relaxed part of the pose, like this. So to activate the pose, push the palms, push the triceps, push the thighs, lift our sternum. Oh, now to really kick in the pose, just lift our hips just slightly, maybe 1/8 of an inch, maybe an inch. Now we feel it really digging into our hips. Can we still pull our chest up and forward? As our body starts to shake, maybe it's starting to work. Can we lift our toes off the ground, playing with our balance? And lowering the hips, shake it out side to side. Great job, yogis. Put our hands to the ground, lower our chin. Finding stillness. If you do have a crow pose and would like a little hand balancing detour, you could do that here. So from Yogi Squat, Malasana, we move into Bakasana. We place our hands, fingers spread wide like starfish. I like to point my pinky fingers just a little bit so my palms are open a little bit. Come up onto the balls of the feet. Start to shift my weight forward. This may be enough for you today. We want our hips as high as our shoulders. Can you play with lifting one foot, then lifting the other foot? Maybe you lift both feet. If you do, you point your toes back and then towards each other. We're pushing the ground away. We're shifting our weight forward, just playing with our balance. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. The crown of the head's moving away from the hips. And we bring our feet down, shaking out our hips back to Malasana. There's another way to use a block to get into the pose. Even if you've done this before, maybe try it just to get the sensation. If you've never done crow pose, this could be a way to open up the pose, make it more accessible for you. With our hands safely on the ground, we bring the balls of both feet onto the block. We sink down. Now we've done a lot of work on our toes, opening the toes today. Separate the knees. This is the starting point then for a Bakasana crow pose using a block. We push into the balls of the feet. Notice that just by being on the block, our hips are higher now. We're a little bit higher off the ground. We start to shift our weight forward. Maybe it's easier to lift one foot up the other. From here, the distance isn't the same to lift my feet off the ground, bringing the toes together. Maybe the feet float back, up and back, downward facing dog. Great job, yogis. Thanks for playing along. So many fun things we can do in our practice. Can we be patient in the practice? Finding Balasana one more time. Malasana, Yogi Squat. Place the hands on the ground, slowly float the hips up, vertebrae by vertebrae. Rise, circling the hands up towards the sky, and exhale the hands to our heart. Our standing balance pose today will bring our big toes to touch. Heels are separated 2 or 3 inches. Circling the hands up towards the sky. Reach those fingertips even higher. Open the armpits, reach even higher. Now look up at that almond shape between our thumbs. Looks just like that. We're going to focus on that almond shape. Our legs are strong and active, but the knees aren't locked. Fingertips reaching up. Softly close our eyes, but imagine that almond shape. I can see that shape. As I stand here, my eyes shut, navel's towards the spine, sits bones moving down towards the ground, legs are strong, for just 30 more seconds. Of course, you can blink your eyes open anytime, but maybe we try playing with our balance, being patient in this standing balance pose. Notice your breath. Notice where the air touches your skin. Notice the space that your body takes up on your mat. Be comfortable with the space. Own this space. Walk proudly with the space through our day today. Softly blink our eyes open, seeing that almond shape, bringing that shape in front of our heart, releasing the hands. Stepping our feet out 45 degrees to make our way down to the mat, we'll circle the hands up towards the sky, and on the exhale, we'll find our way into Malasana, garland pose, final time. Bring our hands behind us, lowering down. Seated forward fold. Extend the legs out in front of us, rock and roll the heels side to side. Circle the hands up towards the sky, reach even higher, then start to pivot at our hips, but the crown of our head is moving towards our toes. Reaching the fingers away, reaching the fingers, reaching, then slowly lower, letting our hands land wherever they land. Maybe it's your toes, your shins, your knees, your thighs, it doesn't really matter. Our chin moves towards our chest now once we're down here. The inhale, the back of the head floats up. Exhale, we lower down a little bit deeper. Create a little more spaciousness in the pose. We're slowly going to rise. See what happens when we put our hands back by our glutes, draw our glutes up and back so our sits bones are a little bit closer to the ground. Now separate your ankles a little bit wider, circle the hands up towards the sky, reach even higher, then reach up, 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 and forward, 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 pivot the hips. Let the hands fall wherever they fall. Let the chin relax. Draw the crown of the head away from the hips. The inhale, the back of the head floats up, and on the exhale, our heart melts closer towards the ground. Maybe you found your hands, your fingertips just got a little bit longer and a little bit different space on your legs. A couple deep breaths here. Feeling our hamstrings, our glutes, that connection open even more. Let's slide the hands across the top of our shin, in front of our thighs, and slowly lower down all the way onto our back. Drawing the knees into our chest, Apanasana one more time. Placing the feet flat on the ground. Let's push into each foot equally so the hips float up and draw the hips over towards the right. Then draw the knees back in towards our chest and let them fall over towards the left. Extend our arms out like airplane wings. And can we lower our right shoulder so it connects to the mat, even if the knees float up off the mat? Over time, that twist may deepen and open. If you'd like, you can take your left hand, place it gently on the outside edge of our right thigh. Just the weight, we're not pulling down, just the subtle weight of our hand is helping to open the twist. It's drawing the right hip away from the right shoulder, creating spaciousness. Slowly, let's unwind. Arms come out like airplane wings. Knees float up towards the sky. Push each foot equally. First, square our hips in line with our shoulders, then push into the feet again. Float the hips up off the mat. Drawing the hips now over to our left. Draw the knees up towards our chin, then let both knees fall open towards the right. Turning our gaze towards our left fingertips, can you connect your left shoulder to the mat, to the ground below it? Then place your right hand gently on your right thigh. I like to place it up near the hip. And imagine I'm drawing the hip down away, the left hip away from the left shoulder. Just the weight, no extra effort required. Seeing both arms out like an airplane wing. Rolling over onto our glutes. Pressing each foot equally, squaring our hips. Draw the knees into our chest. One more time. Happy babies available here, grabbing outer edge of our feet. Drawing the knees down towards the ground. If your lumbar spine floats up off the ground like mine does, all we have to do is lower our heels towards the ground and feel that flattening of the lumbar spine, that relaxation. I like to take my thumb and pull each toe towards the top of the foot, just a little final stretch for all 10 toes. Draw the knees into the chest one more time. Take a deep inhale here, draw the forehead up towards the knees. And on the exhale, extend the legs long, lowering down vertebrae by vertebrae, the top of our back of our head onto our mat. Rock and roll the heels side to side. Take a deep inhale in through the nose, open our mouth and sigh it out. Wiggle our jaw side to side and let's softly close our lips. Place the tip of our tongue onto the roof of our mouth behind our top two teeth and give it a little push. Then relax. Wiggle the nose. Without opening the eyes, flutter the eyelids, furrow and unfurl the brow. Put a little bit of nudge into the back of the head so the chin floats up, and maybe even draw those shoulder blades closer towards each other. Extend the heels away from our waist. Notice all the parts of our body connected to the mat, to the ground, to the floor below us. We've connected our breath to movement, attempting to create meditation in motion, attempting to improve our patience. Take a deep inhale into the nose. Open the mouth, sigh it out one more time. As we sink, as we let go, as we practice ignoring distractions in Shavasana. We'll be here for 2 minutes and I'll walk you out. Slowly, let's start to deepen our breath. Bring some gentle movement to our fingers, to our toes. Gently roll your wrists and ankles. And an inhale, extend both hands beyond your head onto the ground behind you. Pointing your fingers, pointing your toes, feeling the length, the spaciousness that you've created in your body today. Bend both legs, bringing the feet flat onto the mat. Let's gently roll over onto our right side, using our right bicep as a pillow. Pausing here for 2 deep breaths. Place our left hand flat onto the ground in front of us. Softly close our eyes, tuck our chin to our chest, and push ourselves up into a comfortable seat with our eyes still closed. When our shoulders are above our hips, bring our hands to touch in front of our heart center. Bow our chin towards our heart. Imagine that light within you burning just a little bit brighter through your practice today. Thank yourself for making this effort to get to your mat to practice once again, so that you can prepare yourself for the world around us. We'll seal our practice with one Om. Let's take a deep inhale. eyes open, floating our chin up. Namaste, yogis. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's my privilege to lead and share these classes with you. I hope you find something new, something different in each class. Maybe something new, something different about yourself and your progress through your yoga practice, through your dedication. I hope you continue to practice with us. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel so you'll continue to get updates as we post new classes for your home practice. Namaste. Thank you, yogis.